What's up, beautiful world? Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Black Sheep Perspective. Today, man, I got a great guest that happens to be a close friend of mine that I've known for a very long time, very respectful brother who's been through a lot, done a lot, very known in the community, especially the MMA community, firearms, law enforcement, whole lot. You really are truly a jack of all trades and been here long enough. You've been GMs of gyms, you know, very known gyms, especially LA Fitness when it first popped up and things of that nature. I want everybody to give a grand welcoming to my brother, my homeboy, Jorge, a.k.a. Zen Rodriguez. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you, Wes, and thank you for having me, my brother. It's been a long time, man.
Been a long time, dude. I mean, we've always kept communication. We've never lost that. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, man, because when I was on the way over here, after training some clients, I thought, man, when was the actual last time that I saw you? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me, because your memory probably suits you better than mine. I think it was one of those last events that you were commentating at. And I went to see the event, and me and you were catching up in between fights when you and I were just chopping it up.
I got the picture. I don't remember what event, but yeah.
That was it, right?
Last time I saw you, man, was during the actual, not the fight night, the day before, so it was during the weigh-ins.
Okay.
And that's, you know, we had a couple of people there in the back, so I was, you know, going to the red corner, blue corner, you know, handing out all the fighter stats and stuff like that, and you were there, so we saw each other. That's the last time I saw you.
How long, roughly, what do you think that is?
Oh, brother. 4 years, maybe?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And you and I, you know, we met through mutual friends, the fitness / MMA community, and you were a general manager at GM.
Yeah. I was a GM at LA Fitness.
LA Fitness.
In Sunset Place.
In Sunset Place, right. And that was banging. That was a brand new one there, and there's a big one. We got pretty cool, started chopping it up, and I remember that you were telling me, at that time, Jorge Masvidal was on the come up.
Yep.
He was on the come up. He was still fighting overseas in Russia and shit like that for Bulldog. And you started doing some training at, shout out to, now they're called Elite Sports Performance.
Correct, with Gallo.
Right, with Gallo and Wonky. Shout out to those fellas. I always give them shout outs. Probably every 3 or 4 podcasts I give them a shout out. And it used to be called South Miami Sports Performance.
Correct.
AKA
SMSP.
And it became ATT, the first one minus Coconut. At that time, that was in Kendall, that was in Miami. And yeah, man, and we our vibe was legit, and you were a kickboxing coach, and we did classes together, and I used to help you. Sometimes we did some one-on-ones. You hold the mitts for me, I hold the mitts for you. And that, how long ago was that now? That was,
man, we're talking, that was, Wes,
shit,
2008.
Yeah.
I opened my MMA center in the Gables in 2008, and it was right prior to that. So 2007, 2006, more or less around that area. That's when Daniel was at SMSP with Wonky and Gallo. Buyu actually came in and started assisting and helping Daniel. And then you know how it goes. Everybody grows in different directions.
Exactly.
Some people have a problem with growth. You know, other people don't. I started, from LA Fitness, I would go there in the evenings because I was doing both. I was still the GM in South Miami, and then I would go over to Wonky and Gallo's place and, brought in some kickboxing, clients for them, to kind of like help them with, how you bring more members in, or, how you, grab your business and take it to a next level.
Right.
MMA, when you have the fighters and only the fighters.
They were more focused on jiu-jitsu and training athletes. I don't even think they had a legit kickboxing until you started doing the coaching there. So
then everybody kind of like, went on their own way. And, I was there at LA Fitness as a GM, brother, and I was like pulling 100 hours a week, making excellent money, 6 figures, but I didn't have a life. And I love the world. I love helping people. I love training. So I said, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to do my own thing. And that's when I opened up on 14th and Ponce and opened up Zen's place. It was going incredible.
What made you want to call it Zen's place? Because now that nickname has attached to you now, if anybody who knows you well enough, it's either George or it's Zen. How did the Zen part come?
That's funny, man, because everybody asks me that. Everybody thinks it's my name. I kind of forgot my own name because everybody calls me Coach Z, Zen, Coach. Yeah. Back in the MySpace days, so check this out. That was the name on my page. I was one of the only fight coaches or people. I love to meditate. That's one thing that I do. To me, the world's falling apart, and we'll get into that a little later. There's a lot of darkness, but there's also a lot of light. And everything to me is mindset, bro. It's how you get up and how you handle your mindset. That's why you see all these superstars, all these people, important people committing suicide. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
It's like, I don't get this, man. It's Robin Williams, really?
Right.
Damn, bro.
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, bro. I mean, people like Chester Bennington. These people are like, wow.
Right.
So I said, you know what, man? It's true. Your mind can either bring you to your knees, or it can take you to another level. And you have to try to find a way in all this darkness to find your light. And stay informed, obviously. You don't want to get, kicked in the ass, and you didn't know what was going on or what have you. But day in and day out, man, I have people calling me with the darkness they're feeling. And day in and day out, I try to shed some light. It's very difficult for me, man, because I'm an energy person, so I'm drained of that energy every day that I'm trying to instill, not only in my kids, but, in adults. And it's crazy. So, going back to those days, yeah, man, from SMSP, I opened up Zen's Place in 14th and Ponce. And man,
so MySpace started the Zen name.
Right, the Zen name. I was the only coach that meditated with their fighters or students or whatever. So it picked up, and I ran with it.
Yeah, there you go.
That was it.
And I said, do you still meditate?
Every day.
Really?
Especially now.
Now, when you meditate, is this more prayer-like? Do you consider praying, if you do pray,
every day,
or is the meditation different aside from the prayers?
Different. Well, what I do, Wes, is I study Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism. There's nothing wrong. I first checked, obviously, as a Christian, if this was something, absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's a way of life. So to me, as a Christian, man, every day in the morning, when I get up, every day, bro, I spend my first 10 minutes with my Bible app. I don't go on Facebook, social media. So I called my first and 10. That's what it's called. So my first 10 minutes, I go, it's simple. I just read whatever the prayer is of the day, whatever they have to say. If I'm doing one of my plans, because it has really, really cool plans on depression, on anger, on this, on that. And it's not all like jabbing the Bible into your head. No, it's real life stories from people. And then it'll end off with a little prayer or, some type of scripture that actually relates to whatever the topic may be. And then I go on my day. But at the end of my day, when I get home, I do my deep breathing meditation. I calm down. I try to bring my resting heart rate down. I try to, focus on nothing but positivity at that time. A lot of people ask, Coach, how the hell do you meditate? It's like, man, listen, I'm still figuring it out. You know what I mean? I've done it all. Meditation with a candle, meditation at the beach, meditation at the park, and it just gets to the point that you just want to calm yourself down and be in a peaceful place,
right? In
a tranquil place. And that's what I try to do daily when I get home. I try to, keep that routine. I'm a man of routine, because if I get off my routine, bro, you know me. You've known me long enough. I'm a hot mess, bro. I go wild. I start wilding out, and, I don't have time for that.
Do you feel like you've gotten a pretty good grip on it, as far as the methods that you're using?
Very much so. Very much so.
And they work pretty efficiently for you.
Man, thank God I'm still here doing what I'm doing, regardless of all. I mean, I've gone through some hell, brother.
And I know you have. I've known about it before, what you've gone through, and we spoke about it, before we started recording. And, it's good that you mentioned this, because to have gone through so many things, and I know we don't want to pour out the whole fucking book in regards to, we all have a story, good story, keep moving, but at least to encourage people that, hey, man, even going through so many different things that brought you down, that where you could have tossed in the towel, you could have went into drugs or violence or, negative things. Instead, one of your tactics, one of your methods that helped you overcome not one, not two, 3 or 4, fucked up situations is meditating, and in your sakes, also praying. So it's encouraging. It's encouraging for those people listening who find themselves in situations that they don't know how to get out of. Well, it's kind of like, how about this? Like yesterday, and I think this is a great example in timely fashion. Yesterday, I was training some kids, 2 5-year-olds, little fucking tornadoes, right? Yeah. You know it. You work with more kids than I do, but we've been working with kids for a long time, and I can't wait to talk about that with what you got going on. But 2 little tornadoes. You have to command the attention. You have to keep them focused. You have to try. You also got to let them burn some energy, so on and so forth. But anyhow, in that process, one of the kids got hurt really quick. He was about to cry. And I've been trying to teach them, don't cry.
Correct.
Be strong. Be tough. And I already know somebody listening. I don't know. I love my followers. I think that we share a lot of common ground. But I know somebody listening, whether they're a follower or not, is thinking, that's that toxic masculinity. You're teaching a kid not to be less of a man, not to cry. It's okay for a man to show emotions. Look here, man, chill the fuck out. We ain't talking about all that. Kids are too used to getting parents' attention.
That's what I was going to tell you.
By means of crying, screaming, pouting, whatever it is you allow during their upbringing, parents, because it falls on you motherfuckers. That's how that kid's going to pick up those 100%. Habits. So I'm trying to teach these kids the habits of, hey, don't let it, first thing that happens when you feel some type of pain, cry. Instead, just, try to hold it in. Be strong, be tough. I get it. We get hurt. We get, we want to cry. And if we initially cry, that's okay. But just understand this. Crying's not going to change it. I'm going to help. I'm going to tell you what's going to change it. And I told him this, and this is the moral of the story. I said, whenever you're overly excited, could be happy, could be scared, could be angry, could be pain. Whatever it is, when you know you're full of emotion and you need to calm down because your mom's going to get mad, because you might do the wrong thing, because you know you're crying for too many reasons, take some deep breaths. I tell them this, and right away as I'm talking to them, they're like, and it's the cutest thing.
It is, man.
And they're just taking deep breaths. I go, and since they were doing it, I was like, don't you feel calmer right now? Don't you feel good? And I'm trying to hold in laughter because it was crazy how
I turn around all the time.
Yeah, because so they don't see it. I do. I feel better. I go, you see? And I think that's what, people need to do. They need to find a way to do that.
100%.
So it's not about finding the solution to your problems. We'll get there. You got to fucking calm everything down. You got to shut all that craziness going on down first. Ooh.
Brother, anybody that knows me, man, and knows how I run my business, I run it with an iron fist, bro. Because kids, parents, they're just pansies today, bro.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of little pansies, crybabies. They're the ones that run the household.
Oh.
I got parents calling sometimes, hey, coach, my kid doesn't want to go anymore. So hold on a second. Who runs your house? You or your kid?
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? It's like, listen,
bro.
You came to me for a reason. You said, help me with my kid. I told you it wasn't going to be easy. And a child's going to want to stay home playing Fortnite and video games, man. They're not going to want to come do burpees and start kicking shit. You know how it is.
Exactly.
And then when they're there, bro, I'm tough on them. So parents sometimes sit back and they, when I finish class, they even tell me, man, I got to toughen up on them after seeing that. They go, man, but it kills me. So it kills me too. I either got to turn around and laugh or I got to turn around and cry. I feel both emotions, brother, because these kids are born innocent, without absolutely no knowledge of anything.
This is you, whoever's influencing them. You're teaching them this.
It's our job, man. It's our job to raise these kids correctly. And one of the things that I try to instill is called inspect what you expect.
There you go.
You just can't say, hey, do this, boom, and walk away, and he's going to do it. Now, you got to be watching, and parents got to be watching and make sure that he does it, and he does it correctly. And the next thing that I teach, which is extremely important, in my classes, I always ask, guys, does practice make perfect? Hey, everybody raises their hand. Yeah. And I'm like, absolutely not. That's that universal saying.
Damn, dog, cheers to that. Brother, stop saying that. Stop saying practice makes perfect. There is no such thing as perfection.
It is perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect, but meaning, I'll give you just a basic example of a jab. You do a jab, and you start lowering the right hand. You know what I'm saying? And you practice that 1,000 times. You're practicing. You're just practicing it wrong.
Exactly.
So you're going to master it perfectly wrong.
I say the same thing.
So I got to go now and take that bad habit after you've done it 10,000 times and teach it to you the right way. So why don't we just do it the right way from the beginning? Mm-hmm. My program is more of a mentoring program, and the MMA is secondary. Any damn fool can teach your kid to kick and punch and raise a bully. So kids are going to come to school. They're going to start kicking at people, punching at people. They need to understand how to be raised to be ladies and gentlemen. And that's my goal. Protect my little girls. They're over-sexualized. They're watching, Let me give a quick shout-out to people and let them know what's going on, why your daughter or why people are having such an issue in the dating scene nowadays. Since 99, bro, Y2K bullshit, where everybody started with the computers and your PS1, 2, 3, 4, 20, where the fuck they're at right now, kids are being raised on video games and pornography. So when a girl tries to go out with a dude, what does he have to talk about? What does he have to really, he wants to grab the chick, and if sex is always first. And it's gotten to the point where you're losing that chivalry. You're losing today's gentleman. And even like, you know me, bro. I'm old school. You can go back to that cocaine cowboys era in the 80s where we were walling out, bro. Because I'm 52, I'll be 53. I don't mind saying that on camera.
You look great, brother.
Thank you, brother. And, bro, you could be a fucking drug dealer, and you just killed somebody. You got them in the trunk of your motherfucking car. If you were picking up a chick, you knock on the door. How are you, ma'am? I'm here to pick up your daughter. Thank you, ma'am. I mean, you as respectful as can be. You'd open the car door for your lady, and you'd have her back home on time. After that, you go back out and shoot somebody up, do what the fuck you got to do. But when it came to being a gentleman, being a man, it's like they've lost that umph of being a man. And unfortunately, it's been the way people are being raised, and, everybody's got an opinion, which is great. The problem is that everybody's got an opinion, but they want to make that the fact and not respect somebody else's. You understand? So I got a saying, if you see red and I see blue, bro, I'm going to meet you halfway at pink. You understand? Because you ain't going to make me see your color, and I most certainly can't make you see mine. So let's
Why was I thinking purple?
Oh, you were thinking purple?
I was thinking purple. I gotta ask everybody out there, what were you guys thinking? He said red and blue, and I was digging the analogy, and I'm like, he's about to spit some fire. He said pink. I was like, wait a minute.
Fuck it, bro. I wear pink, man.
Pump the brakes. Hold on. No, but I get it, right? You're definitely willing to do that.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this, because I do want to go back to the kids, because that's one of the best things about you, of what you got going on. But when do you think? Who was it who started slipping on the lack of chivalry or the disrespect about women or the sexualization of women, or I did a podcast with a couple of fellas of mine. We talked, relationship podcast, and we talked about different things, and they've been on my podcast. And I always like to bring up a topic: who do you think cheats more nowadays? And I'll ask you that real quickly. Who do you think, if you were to throw a number, not an actual number, but who do you think cheats more nowadays, percentage wise, women or men?
Man, to be quite honest with you, I really wouldn't know the stats to that. And if I were to take an educated guess, I would probably say 50-50.
Okay.
Maybe even more, on a woman's side. I don't know.
That's crazy. So I guess I'm the only dodo head who thinks otherwise, but that's fine. I'm okay with thinking that I'm wrong. My thing is, what I used to say, and going back to what I'm trying to get out of you is, I used to think that, and I still do, that men made these women animals. We through the mistreatment, through the infidelity, through the cheating ways, through the, a man's going to be a man and all that, through the dog that comes out of him, all that bullshit, women eventually got fed up enough. And through hip hop and female rappers and female influencers, not so much this generation, but, before we got into this social media ordeal, they kind of started thinking, fuck these guys. I'm going to cheat on him first. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know if this guy's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, we've been together 6 months. It's all gravy. But so was Betty over there with her man for a year, and then he cheated on her, and so was this, and she was married, and they just got fed up, and then it started becoming a draw. Who can draw first blood,
brother? You know what?
And now it's just ugly. Now, even though I still think guys cheat more, now it's like, wow, it's gotten so ugly that I might have it fucked up, and the majority of the people I asked, like I just asked you, are saying that it's either 50-50, which I still didn't think, or most people are saying, or girls are cheating more. Right. I'm mind blown.
And I don't, I don't really want to, I don't know if it's saying the girls are cheating more. I just think girls are more fed up with shit, and they're just dropping somebody that's just not good for them and just moving on quicker.
Ooh, I like that. That's a better way of putting it. See, that I can agree with 110%. That makes a lot more sense than they're just cheating.
Versus men. Women, listen, when a girl's done, she's done, bro. You understand? She might be in your household. She might be with you. But when a girl goes silent and is no longer bitching at you or complaining or this or that, she is done. And what happens is, if she's a beautiful woman, there's one thing, Wes, listen, we can't ever bring back father time. Like this moment we're having right now, that's why I'm vibing, enjoying it, and thank you for having me, bro. But you can't bring back father time. So, people are seeing that. Look, I use myself as an example. I've got more road paved behind me than I got ahead. And when you start thinking like that, and you say, okay, shit, I'm 53, right? So what's the average age now? 85? And 85, what are you, just fucking all fucked up, in and out of hospitals, doctors, and that's if you even make it to that. So I'm saying to myself, from 52 to let's say 70, bro, years are flying by you. So you don't have time to waste on negativity or people that aren't going to love you up the right way,
right?
People that don't suit your needs. But what happened with all this is progress, brother. Okay? Every 10, 15 years, we go through a subculture. We go through trials, tribulations, and the culture changes. And with progress, meaning phones, computers, social media. You got kids nowadays, that they're recording each other on the phone. You see how bad it's gotten, man. Instead of rendering assistance, they really should be.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a major issue. Bro, when we're with a kid, you were often, trying to hide from your old lady and trying to fucking, look at porn and shit like that. And you had that scrambled channel on the TV and oh my shit, I saw a titty. It was shit
like that. You just made me feel so old. But yes, I remember that.
All right. So,
I remember.
Like I think up on sale and shit like that on 23, dog. Come
Jesus,
on.
I haven't thought about that fucking channel you just met. I haven't thought about that in forever, dude. Yo, man.
Listen, being old school is a good thing because you came from a wholesome place. I remember back in the day, like at the old girl's crib, bro. Be sleeping, man, and everybody walk in. Door was always open. Lady across the street, lady next door, friends come in. Hey, well, you got food, by? And it was like, it wasn't at night. Windows were open. You didn't have to worry about the shit today. But, man, we were living through a rough era, Marielle, Bolt, all that shit. I was in school at that time, Shenandoah. So we were fighting every day. And
What was your what neighborhood did you grow up in?
Over there by Booker T, man. So, down there by 2nd Ave. I went to Southside Elementary and I went to Shenandoah.
What's that considered?
Shit.
Overtown?
No. It's close to like when you're going to downtown Brickell. Now it's beautiful because it's all that area. And you're coming down 8th Street and you get a 2nd Avenue and it's got the Wendy's on the right.
Yeah.
Right there. That shit was
I just don't know what is that? Midtown, downtown?
I guess now, downtown, probably downtown.
Yeah, but it definitely was nothing that it is now back then.
And it was just, people talk about gangs. Wes, man, bro. We were back in the day when we were walking that Grove.
Yeah.
We lived and survived the most gang, in
Miami. That was the worst time of gangs during our time. Latin Kings, IMP, and syndicates, right. You name it.
So what happened with me was I got to be a bodyguard of people that I can't mention at a very early age, talking 18. And man, I was seeing things I wasn't supposed to see at that age. And that shit clicked and it stayed embedded and it still is and it still gives me nightmares, brother. And at the age of 19, I said, I can't have this. I'm going to wind up going to jail. So I started applying, bro, City of Miami, Metro, every single police department, and Metro Corrections called first. And in 1991, I had to come tell these guys, yo, I'm going to be a cop. And they were like, what? I said, listen, I'm going to work the jail. And that flipped on them. They say, awesome, dude, go on your flock. Well, they used to call me a mojo and mojon because I was, bro, a little jit. And all these animals, were off killing people, doing all sorts of shit. So I had like Tipito the Bronx Tale. I had my old girl and that beautiful household that they wanted to keep me away. And then I had Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny.
Then I had Sonny.
Fucking great movie. If you haven't seen that movie, you got to go see it.
A Bronx Tale, guys.
Tale.
Catch it.
Shit.
It's my life story to a certain
Sonny
extent.
door test, baby. The Sonny door test. But okay, so.
So, bro, shit, where the fuck was I at?
Oh, so you were that typical story, like you compared it to Bronx Tale, where you were trying to get out, right. But it was pulling you in.
So at 1991, I tell these guys, listen, I'm going to be a CO. And these guys go, bro, that's great. Now you can take care of all my guys in there. Look at the mentality.
Yeah, of course.
Brother, I shit you not. Every single last one of them. I gave them a bologna sandwich coming in there, bro. Flipped them out of cells. Put this one on this cell, that one on the other. Put them in a Christian. So I took care of all my boys. So it did happen, ironically enough.
Well, you stay in the game long enough, you're going to get caught. You're going to do time.
Really bad use of force after, because everybody thinks the riots that went down now with BLM, that ain't shit compared to the Rodney King riots, bro. Nothing, bro. And that was bad. And it caught me inside the jail when those officers were acquitted. So, bro, people went wilding out. They went crazy, stabbing people. I got stabbed 3 times during the Rodney King, when the trials, when the officers were acquitted.
Right.
I was working the stockade, and I was in charge of what you call C2 Charlie Block. And, brother, I'm eating a sandwich, and I'm watching the news, and I see these officers are acquitted. Yo, bro, mi locura. I didn't even pay attention to that shit. And all of a sudden, I'm hearing on the radio, Officer Rodriguez back up in Charlie Block. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I get over there, macho, 65 inmates fighting in a cell, stabbing each other up. So I tell the officer, it was Officer Alvin Burke. He was a corporal at the time. I said, listen, brother, on my call, we're not going in. Rodriguez, I'm a corporal. I hold rank. I said, listen, I'm going to put it in my report then it's on you, bro. Got 65 people in there until we get more officers here. Close down TGK next door. Do what you got to do. But we had like 20 officers. He opened the door. That shit spread out into the breezeway, bro. It got crazy. And long story short, dude, I caught 3 stab wounds, from not even knowing where it came because you're in the middle of molote fucking people. And, dude, it got really, really bad. Thank God it was in places that, no big deal. Caught me on the side, caught me in the arm.
How long were you CO for?
9 years.
Damn, okay.
It's like serving time.
How come you didn't? You just got fed up with it?
Brother, it got to the point where the racism was so bad.
Yeah.
Officers didn't even have your back. The situation was so bad. And to me, man, I started real young. Remember, I started at 21.
Right.
So like I told you, every XYZ amount of years, you get a certain growth spurt, even in relationships.
So at this point, you're hitting 30. You're a whole different person.
I said, look, bro, I'm going back in the fitness industry. I'm going to stay there. That's been my passion, my love, not coming in here and dealing with all these inmates all day long. It got to the point where generations of jailing changed to, secure more money. Meaning, if you go to DCJ, which is the old school Dade County Jail, you got a wing, and them inmates are in the cell by themselves. So you got to go, you open the inner door, you watch, whatever, you have no issues. But when it comes to 3rd generation jailings, imagine Army barrack, right?
Right.
They lock you in there with them. So you got 65, 70, 80 inmates with you at all times, and you're at your desk with a radio. You're not allowed a weapon. You're not allowed anything. So, I did great, and a lot of the officers would have beef because my units were the ones that had the least problem. Why? I'd bring in, at that time, remember the old VHSs and shit like that? So I'd bring in a VHS, I'd put it into the TV, and I'd put Goodfellas. I'd bring whatever movies I had at the crib. Man, people would get pissed, like other officers. How come he's bringing a VHS? I said, listen, these people might be in jail. but they're still human beings. You could be here. At any point in time, you could have made that one crucial mistake. You would have been the person here, right? So me bringing in a movie for these guys, it's not a big deal. I never have a fight, an issue, a problem, nothing, because these guys know better. You know what I mean? It's like, why do it to me? Because they know I'm going to take away and I'm going to restrict certain things. And, man, I had it pretty good, the last couple years when I was there at, at Metro West. But when I worked the jail was hell, bro. And since at that time, you remember me, man, I'm almost 3 times the size back then that I am now since I used to do bodybuilding. I was always being placed in the rear lobby. And I was like, man, why don't you give me a floor, give me a unit, give me something. Every time I'm fighting here every single day. That's why when people talk about the fight game, getting to that really fast. And man, you have some outstanding, amazing fighters. Like I said, I've been a commentator, ring announcer worldwide. I know everybody in the business. But when you're in a jail and they got shanks and you got 10, 15 people around you, you don't know who's going to jump you, who's going to stab you. And it's like that. That's fighting, bro. Mm-hmm. So when they say, Coach, how many fights have you had? I said, I don't know. It was every day.
Yeah.
And if it was New Year's or a Halloween, it was every 5 minutes. Because everybody was coming in drunk. New Year's, you know how it is. And it was really bad, bro. So I lasted 9 years, had a horrible use of force there. It came out in the New Times. Thank God that I wasn't disciplined because I left on them before because they were raining down on all, Hispanic officers because, it was a racial incident. And, bro, I'm green and gray. And if I can do a really quick shout out to my black people, my friends, my brothers and sisters, the white man is not racist against black people. The white man, get this, is jealous of black people. Because black people have been in our face and have not let their culture down. So we got some of the best attorneys, some of the best musicians, some of the best actors, some of the best everything. You understand? So in essence, they've already won. They're in our face all day with their culture saying we're not going to go away. And that's the beauty of the black, community and how, I love, my black people because it's ridiculously amazing what they've done after going through so much oppression and everything that they've gone through, okay, to say, I'm not going away. So, we're going to be better than you. And in most cases, shit, look at golf. Even Tiger took these people. And again, Tiger's kind of like, I don't know, bro.
We're not going to go there with that Tiger. Yeah.
But it's like, dude, it's been amazing. So.
What's going on, beautiful world? We are officially in season 3, and we could not have gotten here if it wasn't for all you crazy motherfuckers. Thank you so much for all the support, man. I really do appreciate it. Our subscribers are up to almost 1,300. That's huge for me. We haven't even been around that long, and I feel like we're making leaps and bounds. Thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, for showing your support. Stay tuned. There's so much more to come, from merch to crazy other guests that you wouldn't expect would be on here, and just a whole lot more. Appreciate all the support, guys. Enjoy the podcast.
So, man, look, to close this off, I just want to tell my black people, please keep doing what you're doing. Keep being in people's faces. Don't quit. Don't go away, because it's amazing to see, like I said, with time, cultures change. The jealousy is crazy, brother. It's crazy.
Do you think? I mean, I love that you're trying to encourage black folks into. I don't know. It sounds like you're almost trying to tell them, hey, try your best not to get that mad at these white people. They're not racist. They just feel inferior now.
Exactly.
To you guys for whatever, all the reasons. But with that put aside, do you feel like the racial tension has not really gone away? It's at its worst. Maybe not racism, but racial tension.
Yes.
And
that's the plan, and that's the plot of what we're going to get into, of what's happening now.
And that's, I mean, a lot of it is, did you see the news and what happened to that guy on the beach?
The one that shot him, he started jumping up and down, said, I did it.
Yeah.
Brother, people are crazy.
On mushrooms, whatever. Okay, forget all the reasons that it happened. Sad story, all this bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But media hasn't done nothing with it.
And they're not gonna.
You're either locally hearing about it, they might have mentioned it for one day, there's nothing else. If that was a white on black crime, the same way it happened, just reverse the roles. This black dude went to this white dude, 21-year-old youngin, sitting with his son, who I don't know how old was he, 3, 4, whatever, pumped a bunch of holes into him and pumped him while he was down, according to an eyewitness, making his body shake. then does his little like, I don't know what the hell else to do. I'm just going to sit right here. Had those roles been reversed, the media would have been all over it. That infuriates me, George, because it's just so obvious that the media, which I absolutely despise more than anything else, probably almost in this world, I'm confused as to what are they trying to do? Why are they so evil? I hate people who are against conspiracies and oh, come on, man, don't start doing that and that. Then fucking tell me. If I'm that off, if I'm wrong for conspiring or thinking about this conspiracy, tell me, why in the fuck is the media making the biggest ordeals and scenes when it's white on black or officer on civilian, but not when it's black on white? I don't get it. You have no other reason but to think that you want to cause an uproar. You're trying to cause more separation, damn near segregation.
They do.
Hate, all that.
Think about this, Wes.
Why?
Without
Without sounding like two fucking nutcases.
No, bro, it's not at all. It's in our face. Listen, how do you continue making something a conspiracy that you know it's not? You keep calling it one. People is not conspiring for shit anymore. Everybody knows it's out in the open. There is no more conspiracy theories. It is what it is. If you go back to a year and a half ago, we were supposed to close down for 2 weeks. A year and a half ago, prior to that, shit was perfectly fine. Wasn't no wars, no problems, no issues with the economy, no issues with gas prices, no issues with North Korea, no issues with Islam, no issues with nothing.
Only thing that was going on was police brutality was a little on the higher end. That'll be life, and even then there was still, and I'm not gonna go there. There were still some reasons that were a little bit justified on different cases. It's okay, but anyhow.
You know what's one of the major reasons for that? Being a law enforcement officer, not lack of training, it's lack of follow-up training.
Yeah,
for instance, if you come with me and say, Coach, I want to be a boxer, bro, and you put on your gloves, your stuff, and we train for 3 months. You leave for the rest of your life for those 3 months of training. You really think you're a boxer? You got to have follow-up training and shooting. One thing that I believe, strongly, I saw it the other day online, is that every law enforcement officer, cop, corrections, whatever, should be at least a blue belt in BJJ. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense.
Jocko said that to Joe Rogan.
Brother, when you see
totally
cops,
makes sense.
Macho, when you see cops nowadays and you see somebody, they're arresting somebody, you see what they look like?
They're struggling.
They're struggling. They're falling all over each other.
Yeah, they're on 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and they're fucking can't even control.
Brother, when I was in corrections, I was part of the goon squad, and they say, you have the left arm, you have the right arm, you have the left leg, right head, and this guy's got the head. That's it. And when we come in, that's all the body part you looked for, and we just scoop his ass up and boom, take it out. It was the easiest thing in the world. But like I said, man, cultures have changed, things have changed, and I think that the progress and the issue is social media, telephones, and people nowadays just losing that perspective of being a human being, bro. So instead of rendering aid and assistance, you know how it is. You see people with their camera phones, see who can catch the best shot and who can get the most views on shit. Right now, with the thing going on in Afghanistan, you got kids and people putting on turbans, making fun and stuff like that. To me, that kills me.
So it's like the same technology that has helped our human race progress has also now regressed us.
That's why, brother, you just mentioned the saying that I said, with progress comes regression.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Exactly
with progress comes regression. I mean, it's insane to think that, but we are technologically advanced right now at our best, and it's hurting us.
Think about this, Wes. Back then, when you would watch the news back when we were kids, you watched Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 6, 23, 51. Every single one was saying the same thing, was promoting the same news. Yeah, one would try to get maybe a better angle, better shot, better interview, whatever the case may be. But it was still the same news. Look at how divisive it is today. So people say, or you ask me, why is this a case? That's just one part in the major issue that's going on with, the mandates, the radical left, globalists, the cabal, all that, man. It's in your face and it's very, very real. And if people want to deny that, that's fine. That's why people are being called sheep. If you want to understand at least what's happening and not just sit there listening to the news all day long, CNN and the things that you're seeing, at least go, on the lower, forums and stuff like TikTok and stuff that are, man, the things that are coming out are real, 100% real. So, and it's a scary time right now, and I think a lot of people are not informed on what's really going on.
You started doing you've been doing tactical training, but now you became an instructor.
Yes.
As of recently. Looks like you fucking love that shit.
I adore it, brother.
And now with everything that's going on in regards to what we're referring to and even them talking about trying to take our guns, we know that'll be the last thing that they will do. Do you really think they're going to attempt it? Or do you feel like
they're already doing it? They just banned Russian ammo, brother. So
what ammo?
Russian ammo coming into the States. Russian ammo, like we
Why?
have
Because
Russian
they're
brand
not
ammo.
trying to sell. They're not trying to produce.
No,
ammo.
they're just that's one of the major players that we used to get our ammo from. 223, 556. What they've banned it. So now it's gotten to a point where how I became a firearms instructor, as you mentioned, is because I was deemed in my kids program as non-essential. I'm saving kids' lives. I'm mentoring kids. I'm turning families around. And they closed me down because I'm non-essential, but I can go down to the corner and get as much alcohol as I want, get fucked up. And
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. So when the gyms reopened, because I'm technically too, like I told you, a gym because I do fitness and, a school because I work with kids, I went that route. I was like, oh, shit, beautiful. Gyms are reopening. So let me go and, reopen under those pretenses, brother. As soon as I started telling, Zen's anti-bullies reopening now, gyms are reopened. A lot of the mothers were like, oh, coach, I don't know. The school still were having issue with the kids. So it took me a lot longer to reopen. So I decided, I needed to do something for income, bro. I was sitting there for 4 months. I still had a nut to pay every single month. And I said, you know what? I'm going to become an RSO, which is a range safety officer. So I can go ahead and, go, rent out the bay at, let's say, Homestead Training Center or wherever and take some students. And then I went, through the USCCA and became a firearms instructor and got both. Now I want to get, become a TC, which is a training counselor, which means I'll be able to certify you or anybody else as a firearms instructor, not just for CCW, so forth or so on. And that's what's been paying the bills, man. And now I'm reopened, thank God, and I'm doing both. It's hectic, as you know. I've been running 2 companies by myself, so I work 7 days, bro.
Let's inform people listening exactly what it is you got going on with the kids. So obviously, you opened up your own gym. I know there's a whole backstory to that. I'll try to give people the short story. You had a gym open in Coral Gables. It was Gables.
It wasn't the Gables.
It was Gables. Some idiot crashed into your building.
Yep, destroyed the building. He wasn't insured. You were insured, but because it was a structural building, you had to wait for the landlady to do it on her own, and she was probably waiting for an insurance claim, which takes forever. Correct.
So you lost that gym.
I lost it all.
You had to start all over. That's definitely just one of the many, obstacles that you had to overcome. But bounce back. Eventually you reopen. Now it's this. And now a little girl touched your heart. A little girl.
2015, brother.
Tell us about how this little girl touched your heart and how that's what really made you, instead of just regular old mixed martial arts training, regular old personal trainer, fitness training, you really got zoned in and became passionate about anti-bullying. Tell us about that.
So, man, if I've done everything in the fight game, from having my own facility to being a coach to being a cornerman to being a commentator to being a ring announcer. So I've gotten to see the MMA world internally through the gyms and MMA schools, as well as the promotions. And everybody will tell you, like, it's a pretty dirty business,
Right.
And it got to the point that after that, horrific situation that I went through and losing my place, I went through a deep depression, bro. And started traveling with my boys from Fighter Source, which was awesome. I went to Sweden with them. I went to New York. And it really expanded my horizons in the MMA world. And when I get back, I said, hey, listen, I got to make a decision. And that's when I was the GM of LA Fitness. I was there for about 4 years. And while I was there, I was teaching at Juanqui and Gallos. Like you remember, I was going back and doing the kickboxing. I said, man, I'm tired. Brother, I'm tired. I'm getting here Monday morning at 7 a.m. I'm not leaving till 10 p.m. It's like, LA Fitness and everybody started changing the GM structure. Listen, we're going to give you a certain quota, super unattainable. And then if you get 100% of your quota, we give you 100% of your bonus. But if you get 65% of your quota, we're giving you 65% of your bonus. And then your check started going up and down like this.
Right,
It wasn't the same thing. It was very inconsistent. And I burned out. And I said, you know what? I want to reopen my MMA school. So that's when I went into the Gables and opened up Zen's Place. It went excellent, brother. It was going great. I was having, a great time till that horrible incident happened. And I was like, man, what do I do now? And I just went private. And I started personal training privately. And in 2015, I just got a story about a little girl who was diagnosed with brain cancer. Wes, I'm a pretty tough cookie, bro. And if I was diagnosed with brain cancer, I don't know what the fuck I'd do. So this girl survives brain cancer, survives, the surgery, survives the chemo. She's, I don't know how many months in the hospital, bro. And then she gets out, goes back to school. and 2 weeks later commit suicide because of bullying. So I said, wait. If this girl can survive brain cancer and 2 weeks later she killed herself because of taunting,
right?
How bad could this be? I started looking at the stats. I didn't know 170,000 kids are absent from school daily in the United States, afraid of what's going to happen to them in the bathroom, in the locker room, on the way to the bus, you know? And there's a lack of communication by the family, because when I see these stats, 75 to 80% of suicidal cases because of bullying, the families say the same thing. I had no idea. How the hell you have no idea what your kid's going through at school? You know, you're not talking to them, communicating with them enough. You need to know these things. You need to know their peers, where they go, what they do. I mean, you need to be on top of kids all the time. And, bro, in 2015, decided that I was going to become an MMA instructor and mentor only for kids. And if I dealt with adults, it would only be privately. I didn't want to deal with fighters anymore. Still don't. Could care less. They can go, you know, ATT, Coconut Creek, wherever. Yeah. It's got to be a fighter that really warms my heart. That's my dog. You know what I mean? Because he says, Coach, I need you. That, bro, I'll go train him at midnight if I have to. You know, I'll get up 5 a.m.
Same here. Totally.
I'm very, very loyal. But
plus they don't pay shit.
Right. It cost me money. I never made any money in that shit. It cost me money, cost me time, cost my knowledge, you know, everything. And at the end of the day, people still talk shit. Oh, this guy can't coach. That guy can't do this guy can't do that. Listen, man, I went like 22-0 with my fight team back in 08 when we started, you know, going fight to fight to fight. And, you know, after that, I just said, no, just going back to do my own thing, because, you know, this heartache has been too much. And then I started working with kids. I started at City Christian Academy in Alapata. It was badass because I was a teacher. I was the after-school coach, and they also allowed me to do, you know, the anti-bully and MMA. And it was the first time I saw my name, bro, on a report card at a school. I was like, how dope is this?
It's so part of the class.
Part of the class. So it was badass, man. So that went very well.
Quick question, though. Sure. Sorry to interrupt you.
Not at all.
At that point, I would imagine that when you're knee deep into teaching these kids and so on and so forth. Now you're being reminded on a consistent basis. Not trying to be disrespectful, but damn, these kids are pussified.
Listen, man.
Damn, were we this fucking soft back in the days? That had to be hitting you as they're in your class.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
And then you started realizing, of course, a lot of it, or almost all of it, is parenting.
Correct. Well, I mean, Wes, you're born without knowledge, brother. You're a little baby, you're a little infant. You start growing, you expect your parents, your peers, your elders to teach you, how to live life. And what is living life? Living life as happy as you can, but still, you know, you got to be disciplined as a kid, because someday you're going to grow up and have your own household. You're going to have a wife. You're going to have a husband, whatever the case may be. How are you going to discipline? How are you going to run that household if you don't even know how to do it yourself? So in Alapata, bro, you know, we were from the hood, so it was a completely different world of kids. You had all these kids that were a bunch of delinquents, and it's in a Christian academy. We didn't have one issue the entire school year. And it was fun, bro, because we'd be grappling and kickboxing and doing all a bunch of stuff right in the chapel. We'd move all the chairs out of the way, lay down mats. Yeah, it was dope, man. Yeah. Real dope. And then the next year, that's the one that killed me, bro. That's why now I'm able to work with, you know, special needs. The next school year, I worked at an academy in Kendall, my only teacher. And every single child there pretty much is special needs. So I got to deal with, you know, autism. I got to deal with, you know, severe ADHD, paranoid schizophrenia, everything. I mean, I'd have kids. I was a PE coach at that time as well. You take them to the park, right, and you'll be playing, and they'd be just looking at you, chilling. All of a sudden, right, running to the street. Look, the fuck? And you're about to be running. And they're fast as fuck. Catch him before he hits the street, like that. I mean, it was tough, and for no apparent reason. It's just that what their brain told them to do, just run. Right. Kids that would just put their fingers in their ears and rock back and forth because they didn't want to listen to noise. I mean, it was bad. And, man, I got high functioning and severe cases of autism and started boxing with them and started using numbers, started using colors, started using a bunch of different things, and it worked wonders on them. So parents started seeing that. I'll give you a quick one. I won't mention any names. They bring a kid in one time, and I'm about to get ready with my class, and he's about to see his behavioral therapist and his OT therapist, right? And they said, Coach, you know, are you going to be here long? Because, you know, we need to go to the main office for a little bit. I said, yeah, absolutely. He goes, he's got his therapy session in about 30 minutes. I said, all right. And he goes, you know, he's never jumped before. So what do you mean he's never jumped? He can't jump. I hate that word, bro. You know, that can't shit to me really gets to me, bro. What do you mean he can't jump? I go, leave him here with me for a little while. And they went over to the office. Wes, this is 30 minutes. Been dealing with these kids with a behavioral therapist, all these people for 2 years. So I'm looking around and said, fuck, what did I get myself into? All right. And there was some tires on the floor that they used to paint in colors so the kids can do like we do in football. That you do the thing.
Right.
Little,
Yeah, of course.
Right. They have pink ones, blue ones. So I got a pink tire, bro, and I bring it. I grab his hands, and we start jumping up and down. Myself, like do the ring around the rosy with him. He was able to, do the little hops on the balls of his feet, but he wouldn't like jump up onto something. So I started doing that with him, and I started jumping into the middle of the tire, and it started making him crack up. The more I jump into the tire, the more he started laughing. And brother, and one of those boom, he jumped into the center. I almost flipped, bro. So I made him do that shit 1,000 times over again. The repetitiveness. When that mom came back with the therapist, I said, "Yo, you said that so and so wasn't able to jump." I said, "Check this out. Ding, 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 boom." When he jumped into that, tire, mom starts bawling.
Yeah.
Everybody. So I started working some privates with him and was able to, work, do a lot with him. After that school year was done, since I was a mobile, if I wasn't at the school teaching, I was mobile. So I go to your house, teach your kid. I go to that house. So time wasn't of the essence, bro. It's, traffic was a pain in the ass. I said, listen, I need to get neutral. I need to be in my spot and have people come to me.
Of course.
At that time, I was, and I'll mention him personally, my boy George. If you're there and you watch, I love you, bro. Both my Georges, love you guys. I got 2 brothers, bro. Not blood related. That's why to me, blood is thicker than water. That's bullshit. I've gotten fucked over by every family member under the sun. Okay, to me, blood is loyalty, consistency, brotherhood, people that respect you, okay, and people that honor you, bro. Because to me, if you want somebody to respect you, it starts off with self-respect, right? So my boy saw my struggle, saw what I had gone through, and he came to me and said, "Hey, man, I'd like to invest in you." And I said, "Bro, I don't know about that." So long story short, he did. We opened. We don't have a signed piece of paper, nothing but a handshake. And 4 years later, here we are, like 2 brothers doing the same thing.
Awesome,
There's nothing on paper. The place is 100% mine, and I still treat him like he's my 50% owner. He's on my bank accounts. He's on everything. I don't need to do any of that, but I do because that's my brother. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be reopened.
And minus COVID, it's been going great.
It's going good, man. Good is the enemy of great, so I'd rather be in the great status, but it's going good. Right now, considering. Remember, people out there are all over the place, man. Right. There's people that have lost their jobs. They don't know what to do, So for what we're living in today, I'd like to say I'm doing all right, especially now that I'm running both companies. I get a little bit of income also on the firearms. Actually, that's blowing up more.
It should be because of the fucking state of panic, state of everything that we're in. I would imagine. Bro, every time, I'm an ex-con. I can't pack heat.
Right.
I hate that I lost that right. And everybody always asks me, "Oh, well, when can you reinstate your right?" By law, and hey, man, if a lawyer wants to sponsor the podcast, help a brother out. By law, it's supposed to be 15 years after your sentence your whole sentence is complete. Mm-hmm. Are you allowed to put in for a clemency, for forgiveness?
Right, and a possible expungement.
Exactly. I don't care about the expungement because I'm my own boss, but I definitely want the forgiveness or the clemency so I can get my gun rights. And it has to be 15 years from the last day of if you had probation.
Correct.
That, not just when you do jail time.
No.
So I have another fucking, 10 years before that's over.
Yeah.
Man, I've made some bad decisions, Georgia. I know we caught up before we started recording, but I haven't even told you, different things that I've gone through
right.
in the midst of everything. But anyhow, I'm always telling, not just clients, I tell anybody I come across, the minute we get into a good conversation, "Hey, you got your carryings? What do you mean? Can you carry? Do you have a license to shoot?" "No, I wasn't." "What the fuck are you waiting for?"
Yeah.
"What are you waiting for?" "I don't care who you are, man, woman, child. If you can get it, go get it."
Right.
You might never use it, but go get it.
And man, Wes, and touching on that, one of the things that I tell people is this: if you do not feel comfortable carrying, right? There's people like that. You ain't going to convince them any. Let's say, "Coach, I don't know about carrying it on me all the time."
Right.
Listen, to me, you better be strapped all the time. I'm carrying right now. I carry to go to throw out the trash, bro.
Damn right.
I'm always carrying because you never know when that incident is going to be. Mm-hmm. You're going to say to yourself, "Oh, fuck it. I don't need to take it. I'm just going to go throw the trash." And that's when you're going to have somebody standing right there trying to jack you. It just happens like that. Yep. So if you're going to be carrying, carry all the time. And there's people that don't feel comfortable and they say, "Listen, what about if I just want a home defense weapon?" I said, "All right, so you get yourself a Glock, a SIG, whatever it is that you want, you bring it home, and then what the fuck? You don't know what you're doing with it."
That's exactly it.
So in 2020, let me give some people some stats. 2020, there was a 95% increase in gun sales, out of which 85% were first-time gun users. So that's a lot of people with some itchy trigger fingers, not knowing what the fuck they're doing, pointing the barrel right back at themselves. And I said, "No, man." So I became a firearms instructor, and that's why I've been educating people. Kids since the age of 7 can go shoot, by the way. Can't own a firearm, but at least they could be capable.
And again, you said that business is considered essential.
No, not really, bro. I'm sure that if it goes, the shit hits the fan and they start closing people down, it's not that it's essential, but since I work privately, it's not like I have to have a building where patrons come to me.
Right.
You want a CCW, I come to your crib and I do it. I can continue working. I just work on the side.
Which, by the way, if COVID in whatever shape or form, first of all, I fucking hope that our boy DeSantis has our back and we won't get shut down.
Wes,
again,
look, he's got our back, but think about this. Look, think about this.
People
for a
are bigger
second.
than him as well.
Yeah, so you can see how deep this goes. So we're in Florida. You got 50,000 people during, the last, I don't know how many months moving to Florida because they don't want to deal with this, with this mandates and the crazy shit.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, you got DeSantis and you got Ted Cruz and you got everybody standing up for us regarding the mandates for the vaccines, but what's happening at Baptist? What's happening at Jackson? What's happening within instead of the hospitals here saying, oh shit, we're in Florida, we don't got to do it. Nah, you had like 28, 30 doctors the other day walk out. They just walked out and said, we're not working with these people that are not vaccinated. So it pisses me the fuck off, and I'm going to tell all you motherfuckers, listen, a year ago, these motherfuckers were considered, the heroes, bro. All these heroes, our frontline workers are heroes. Let's give a shout out to our frontline workers. These motherfuckers worked a year and a half with not enough PPE, scrubs, medical supplies around these COVID patients the whole time. And now,
with no vaccinations,
with no vaccination, now you're a fucking
in.
scrub and you're going to lose your job? Fuck you. Put a class action lawsuit against these motherfuckers. Stand in front of that place and stand your ground. I don't care who says what. Now you know what they're doing with the military? They're putting a little blue thing on their wrist.
That, yeah.
When have they ever segregated our military to, show who's vaccinated, who's not?
Well, from my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, now that, oh God, I get fucking riled up and I try to tone it down because I don't want to get, you got to understand, bro. Listen, I have my other vlog series, the Go Ahead and Ask. And I haven't done anything. I took about 2 months off, for those of you who follow me, my apologies. But, there's a whole lot of shit that I had to concentrate on. I'm working on some apparel. I had to work on the other podcast studio. And more importantly, I'm looking for a new editor / podcast engineer, somebody who can be in here, playing the Jamie role of Joe Rogan's podcast. I need to make everybody's life easier. But anyways, I trained myself to not get caught up in certain conversations because I got to be a good podcaster. I got to make sure that I don't lose control of fluidity,
Correct.
Smooth conversation. Don't say the wrong things that can get me banned, get me shadow banned, get me hated, get me to lose too many subscribers. Granted, much like you, I don't bite my tongue for shit, but certain things I don't want to get riled up on. And when it comes to this shit, I get riled up. So I'm trying to calm it down. Nobody was vaccinated, and I get it. You have an amazing point, right? But now, where do you think that it ends? Like, where is it? How does somebody take a stand minus that just on your own? You either choose not to do it or do it. Like, you're talking like there's no stopping the machine. And I've said this before. I've even had almost a little dispute with a homegirl of mine. Shout out to Wake Up with Linda, outside of this, where we talk, I try to ask her, where does this, what is the big picture if really it seems like the machine can't be overrun? I'm not saying lay down and wear it, but can we stop it? Or can the doctors, are they gonna overwhelm DeSantis? Are they gonna? Because listen, again, correct me if I'm wrong. FDA approved whatever Pfizer fuck shit.
FDA
and FDA
is
shit.
bullshit,
they're the
bro.
most corrupt fucking
exactly,
thing.
bro.
They've been corrupt forever and a day. I give a fuck about
it. Just
FDA.
gives them an excuse, another
So
excuse.
now isn't Biden or whatever, they're making it mandatory for our servicemen.
Not only our servicemen, bro, for you to go into a restaurant, all the restaurant owners and patrons, all of the frontline workers, they're trying to do a global vaccination mandate.
Yeah.
And then where I have the issue with all of this is outside, outside of everything that's going on. I want to talk real quick. The law of the land is our Constitution. And any law that you try to bring up or to do whatever that contradicts anything in our U.S. Constitution is null and void. All right? And that's what's happening with these leftists. They're just completely pissing and shitting all over our Constitution with this agenda. And
that is facts.
And what's happening is we the people are the ones that have to stand up, like you see in Australia, like you see in these places. It's unfortunate. There's going to be, issues, and they're going to have a couple people die along the way, which sucks. There's going to be some casualties, but you still, for your free, I'll die for my freedom right now. somebody come to my door and try to take my kid, as you're seeing in these videos, they're putting them in sacks, bro. They're zipping them up. They're throwing them in. You just look at Australia. They're grabbing kids from their family's home. I'll send you a video. I have it there. They're tackling the dad to the ground because the kid's prying onto the dad, doesn't want to let him go. So you got 3 officers throw the kid to the ground while some of the nurses and social workers or whatever grab the kid, and they're dragging him down the floor while he's screaming and crying to put him in what they call their quarantine facility. Brother, they come to my crib to take my little jit, and that's the day I lose my life, bro. That's the day I lose my life because, you know, I've been 52 years on this planet, and I've always had the ability to do things my way.
What's going on, beautiful world? Thank you once again for tuning in. I just wanted to cut in really quick and tell you guys, man, I really appreciate all the love and support. This is season 3. We're several podcasts in. We got so many more coming. There's a lot of things that's coming that's brand new, from the Go Ahead and Ask vlog series to a bunch of merchandise and to even a new podcast series that's coming out in the future. Look out for it in the summer. But for now, guys, we couldn't have even made it this far if it wasn't for all of you guys. Thank you for the love and support. Appreciate it. Let's get back to the podcast.
So, man, to be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck I'd do if somebody came to my house, try to take my kid, you know? Blessings to these people that have had to deal with this craziness. And, you know, not to get too much into the COVID bullshit because, you know, everybody's got their opinion. And I get that, and rightfully so. Problem is when they try to take away your civil liberties, right? So COVID is a personal choice. Like if you want to get the vaccine, if you don't want to get the vaccine, there's 2 reasons why people get the vaccine. No other reason, in my humble opinion. Out of fear and out of compliance. Fear. Oh, shit, man, I heard from a doctor, from my nurse friend, from someone that told me that I should because, you know, there's less amount of deaths or hospitalizations for people that, you know, that are vaccinated. Listen, people are hearing shit like that. I don't blame them. I got, bro, many friends, my dearest friends are vaccinated, but they also respect, you know, my opinion and me not wanting to get vaccinated. They got it out of fear. So other people get it out of like I told you, to complying.
Right.
Why? Man, I can't travel to Europe. I can't go here. I can't, you know, get into this school.
My job's
forcing me to do it or I'm going to be terminated. When have you seen that? So guys, my frontline workers were all heroes last year. They went through a whole year and a half through a pandemic with, you know, shortness and PPEs. You know, they didn't know what was happening and everything's fine. Now, after a year and a half, if you're not vaccinated, nobody want to work with you and you ain't got a job and you're just homeless. Nah, man, everybody knows, look, fear and compliance makes us do a lot of shit we don't want to do. And it's tough for a person to stand their ground. So listen, if you want to get it out of fear, you want to get it out of compliance, go right ahead. Get it. It's your rightful choice to. That's why you're an American. But when you come knocking on my door telling me that I have to get it, I got a problem with that. You know, and they're trying to do this globally. And what they're doing is they're using COVID like they did at the beginning. They're using COVID to take the world's eyes off of everything else that's going around, which that I'd love to discuss with you as well because that's, you know, a bigger picture. We are already at war. And people don't get that. It don't take machine guns and somebody to come in and start killing people. It takes biological attacks and segregation amongst people, division of people. And we're in the middle of a war right now. And I'm telling people, dude, stay ready. You know?
Scary, bro.
It's very scary. But guys, look, man. Look. Yeah, the world is on fire. Yeah, COVID, the deaths, you know, what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening in Australia, what's happening worldwide. I get it. But there's also a very beautiful side to this world that you need to disconnect to, even if it's on your own. That's where my meditation comes from. Get the fuck out. Go somewhere, close social media up for a couple days. Stay off the news for a couple days. Love your kids up. Do something different so, you know, you're at least living a little bit of the beauty of life around all the chaos that's happening.
You know what, George?
You do have a choice to do that.
I think, again, my apologies for interrupting. It's never too late, but the majority of the world is 100% addicted. And I love to have this conversation about addictions. I got to get an addiction doctor on the podcast so that we can break down just how powerful addiction is. The same way, and I know this could be a good entry into what I think you want to talk about in regards to the globalization and, you know, the elitists. The same way a crackhead is so addicted to crack that his mother is the world to him. His mother is everything. There's nothing but he would fucking kill, do that, whatever for his mother. But he got hooked on crack. And even though he knows he is hurting his mom, taking her money, probably making her miss rents, whatever it is, he's going to do it to feed that addiction. That addiction is number one.
Yes.
And it hurts him to hurt her, but he's still going to feed the addiction because it's an addiction. So when you realize that's what happens with a drug addiction, and you start thinking sex addicts, just fuck, rough sex is not good enough. Fucking stick a bat up my ass, choke me, and then come with that elbow down my forehead. Rough sex is not enough. Tie me up and gangbang. Why? They're so addicted. They need the next high and the better high. And hunters hunt every fucking thing you can. If you got the money, man, I'm gonna have to start doing some illegal shit.
Right.
How do I kill one of those lions in Africa? I know it's illegal, but I know it can be done. And before you know it, you killed everything. People think it's a movie. Where do I find humans? You know how they let out prisoners and then you're allowed to hunt them? Does that really exist?
You think that, like the movie The Hunt, right? That doesn't exist, brother? I guarantee
fucking
you.
Kidding me? Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro.
There's no cost on life right now. People are taking lives for $200 in Mexico. You don't think somebody somewhere is like, hey man, here's an opportunity. You got to run through this desert, this woods, this rainforest, and if you get away, you're a free man. If you don't, you're gonna get killed.
Yeah, Wes, that's why I said earlier, man, that mindset is everything. Because how do we create addictions? We create addictions through repetition. So repetition becomes habit forming. You repeat positive things, and you'll have positive things in your life. You do negative things, or you follow your peers down the hole, you're going to have negative things happen. And then that addiction is hard to break. It's like those bad habits we talked about earlier. And when it comes to a drug addiction, it's a little different because, you need this. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the social media addiction or it's people that are glued to the news and everything that's happening. So they have a certain way of thinking in addition to the ideologies that all our kids in the last 15 years have been, stuck up their ass in college. So if you hear the experts, they'll tell you we need another 15 years straight of new ideologies of loving your country and, following through with your goals and being a good person, so forth and so on, to try to bring it back to any type of normality. So when I hear that shit of, normal, there ain't no normal. There's never going to be back to normal. You're going to be back to as normal as you choose to be for yourself, your household, with your kids. But the chaos is still going to be around you, Doug, all the time. It's going to be around you. It's going to be in your face. It's not going away, right? So for me, I made a personal choice. And I tell people, look, if you have a forced agenda, that in itself is tyranny.
Yes.
You don't have an option. You need to give me an option for me to be a free person.
Exactly.
Understand? So if you're forcing an agenda on me, and sometimes the forced agenda isn't in certain places, like I'm going to grab you, I'm going to take your shirt off, I'm going to grab you around 5 or 6 people, and we're going to jab you. No. What they do is you can't get in here, you can't do that, you can't get your passport, you can't travel over here, you can't open this business, you can't, go to this business, and it gets to the point that they're taking your civil liberties away.
New Yorkans are fucked right now.
Bro, come on. I mean, just look at Pelosi, bro, and everybody talking about the masks, whatever. Look at her last, party.
Yeah, exactly.
But the servers had masks on.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, it's the hypocrisy that people can't take. Then what's happening is, along with the hypocrisy, the anger that it's causing is because you have some of these people that are stuck to thinking that way. And when you're showing them black or white in front of their face, they're telling you, nah, it's not what it is. And you're looking back saying, bro, it's not fucking black, it's fucking white, So I came to a conclusion that there's certain people that are just beyond, any type of help whatsoever.
Yeah, you can't reach them.
You can't reach them.
Yeah.
So, you move on. You move on to the next person and you try to, hold tight to your convictions and continue living your life as best as possible. Listen, I consider myself to be an amazing human being. I wake up in the morning and all I do all day long is help families, man, till I go to sleep. Right? On the weekends, I'm so fucking tired, Wes, man. I haven't gone out in I don't know how long because all I do is just, recharge the batteries and get myself ready for Monday morning again because there's either family or kids that need me. If it's not family or kids, then it's my firearms clients and the people that want to learn how to shoot. And, bro, that's a very serious business because, man, if I'm teaching you basketball and you elbow a motherfucker in the face, what'd you say? Hey, dope, my bad, dog. I'm sorry.
Right.
You can't shoot a motherfucker in the face. Right. What you going to say?
Yeah, you can't have a misfire.
There's no room for error, bro.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm very, very, very strict when it comes to my firearms company. Not that I'm not with the kids, but, you have to have a little up and down. With a firearms company, it's fucking my way or the highway. You get the fuck off my range, bro. Because I'm not going to be that instructor that has somebody shoot themselves comiendo pinga, like I say, Mm-hmm. And, man, it sucks what's going on in the world right now. You see Massachusetts, you see, all these people that with the crazy COVID cases are rising with the people who are vaccinated. And that's, what's scary, because before you get the vaccine thinking, man, it's less hospitalization, less death, but that's not the case anymore.
Okay, so let's jump the gun. Let's fortune tell. I can't. I throw up, I don't know, theories. But if you were to have the crystal ball in front of you,
right.
I don't care how negative it might be, and it's not to say that you're being pessimistic. You might be realistic, whatever it is. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you want to call it in phases, you can say in the next months, you can say a couple years. We can go all the way to 10 years. We don't got to go past that.
Right.
What do you foretell? What do you think is gonna occur with what you see occurring? You might guess that the DeSantis of the world will prevent the state of Florida's from the world from becoming anything. You can see that the Joe Rogans of the world will help spread enough knowledge where these elitists, these globalists can't pull it all off, because there's people with platforms who are spreading the right information. Like Joe Rogan's doing the right things without shooting himself in the foot and getting himself banned.
Right.
He's letting other people come in and say what they got to say, and he's not getting all up involved by saying go left, go right, anything. So
right.
When you put this whole formula together, George, you being very wise, very intelligent, been through a whole lot, what do you think is going to occur in the months and years to come?
I want you to think about this for a second and to answer that question beautifully, man. Macho, look, a year and a half. We're closing for 2 weeks. We can't. Not 2 weeks. It's going to turn into a couple months. Turn into a total lockdown. It turned into a crash of the economy. It's turned into the closing of businesses. It turned into thousands and thousands of people losing their jobs. It turned into the highest rate of suicide ever amongst people and veterans. And
highest domestic violence, highest kid abuse,
everything.
Oh, God,
all right, and brother, listen,
stomach,
a year and a half. So if you can divide the world like that and have people fight against each other in the way that it's just chaotic in a year and a half, just think about it going forward. So I'll give it to you like this. What people are doing that, us are not, or people are not understanding is they are setting up their chess pieces perfectly.
You think?
The media, the border, COVID and the doctors. So if you own the military, frontline workers, the media, and things like that, you run it. You run the world. There ain't much you can do as a citizen. The next thing you need to do is keep them locked down like sheep and start taking their guns from them. And when people cannot no longer defend themselves, that becomes an issue. So I believe you got too many Americans and too many patriots that are not going to allow this to happen. They're not. Okay. But you're seeing the agenda. You're seeing it. You're seeing people.
Agreed.
West. It's everywhere in the world. If you said it was only Cuba, as you just saw a little while ago in Venezuela, that it started coming through there. These people want communism. And I want you guys, listen, I want you guys to do me a favor. The next time that you're posting a story, you know how you get little, you put little stuff to get little icons to add to your story and, flash it up. Well, the other day, I think I put something, I don't know if it was communism or what it was that I put, to see what came up. Brother, watch what comes up. I love communism, 100% communism, life, love, communism. That's all on Instagram.
Wow.
That's all on Instagram.
Searched.
If you go to the story and you go, how that you have, you're adding little flashy icons and stuff to it, just put, communism, see what happens. Back when we were, going through the pandemic, everybody started talking about Antifa, right? And if you went to Antifa.com, it would take you straight to Joe Biden and Kamala's page. Everybody knew that. I put it out there, the whole 9 yards. So they were funding them. They were funding a terrorist radical group. And they're still around, and that's not stopping. It's Marxism, communism, socialism. It's all the same shit. Okay? Call it whatever the fuck you want. And it's never worked. Never. Not in China, not in Cuba, not in Venezuela, not anywhere. It's never worked. It works for the elites, but not the public that they're shitting on. I come from a free country where if you want to be a fucking scrub and make $250 a week, it's all good, dog. Do what you got to do. But if I want to hustle my balls off like I do, and I want to make 10 stacks a month, I should be able to do that with my hard work, my determination, because I out-hustle you. And, you're in a world of hustlers. It's a fast-paced world, bro, especially if you live in a city like ours. You got to be one step ahead of the game. And unfortunately here, there's no game anymore. Everything's shut down. And these people are trying to control from our sports. When you control the media, you control it all because you're controlling information. Mm-hmm. You're controlling what you're embedding in these people's head. And you do have a lot of people that, man, if you tell them anything. The fear just strikes all of a sudden, and they just react on that fear instead of their faith. And I'm not getting, that's how I deal with it. But they don't, maybe on let me wait a little bit on this shit. This is way too.
It's funny to piggyback that. I was I have this group of ladies that I train in the morning, and long story short, we got into the topic of COVID and then the spike, and then here we go, the Delta variant. Mm-hmm. And they bring that up, and I just let them, I've taught myself to shut the fuck up tenfold than what I used to be, thank goodness to the podcast and just reading books. And I want to be a better listener than I want to be a speaker, because in order to speak all the great stuff, you got to hear all the bullshit and make sure, you compute it good. So I let them all speak, and they were all spitting different articles and this and that. Oh yeah, to the extent, no bullshit, I let them rant for about 7 to 10 minutes during the workout. And then they were like, Dime West, what do you think? I said, you know what? I'm so glad I just literally sat here and let you guys talk and I didn't interrupt. And, they're cracking jokes like, just trying to be a gentleman. I was like, no, I'm being dead ass serious. Because I just realized I almost, hearing all y'all shit right now, I had like the tiniest little fucking tick of a fear that pumped up in it was more like an anxiety. Like a little tiny anxiety bug bit me out of nowhere while all of you guys were talking, because I heard all this information, I heard all this negative information, Delta variants, oh, this spike here, this, that, whatever, oh God, I don't watch the news. I don't read all that shit. I don't do CNN, I don't do none of that shit. I'm all YouTube, teach me something or I don't want to hear it. Then cuando I'll go to fucking Netflix when I'm burnt out on YouTube, and that's it. So when they told me all this, and I'm telling them, I go, you guys were just my information right now. And just that quickly, I almost had a little rush of anxiety, a little sense of fear.
So think about that.
Exactly. And I almost thought, bro, am I gonna tuck my tail and probably get this shot, months down the line?
Fuck no.
And but I told him, I go, that's what's happening with you guys. I'm so glad you did this to me right now, because just that quick, I almost felt what you guys feel from watching the fucking news all the time, and they pump fear into you, and then you do as they want you to do. I just felt a tiny fragment of that just from hearing you guys. That's how it works.
You know what happens, Wes? Because part of their agenda is called mental exhaustion. They want people to become mentally exhausted. What did I say before? Mindset is everything.
Yes, sir.
Not everybody has that mindset. So if you, that I've known you for years, dog, and you're a tough motherfucker.
Thank you.
All right? Had that little moment and spur of anxiety. Imagine these weak ass niggas that can't fucking handle that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So that's what the world is regurgitating day in and day out on the news and on stuff. And there's nothing but negativity. You see something positive, and you kind of just like pass it by because you're still, like now.
Yeah, you want to feel the fire. You want to feel the fire.
Exactly.
What else is happening?
So in my humble opinion, bro, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But it's not going to last forever. We're going to have some casualties. And for people that think we're not at war, we're at war right now.
Do you think we go civil war? Do you think we just do a revolt? Do you think we have
a revolution?
Revolution. You think our militias come out of nowhere?
I think it's happening right now, Wes. Happening right now all over the world, just because it's not happening in South Florida. You got a bunch of people with no way of protecting themselves, but a stick and a broom out on the street trying to just say, I'm a free person, and they're getting sprayed, they're getting shot up, they're getting killed. Yet you go to another country, bro, and you see the police riding out with the people walking and just in support. Why can't we all be like that, man? And it's not like that. So it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. And how is it going to get better for us individually while it's getting worse? That mindset. You got to disconnect. You got to disconnect, and you got to do what's best for you, okay? You want to get the jab because you're scared, or because you heard from so-and-so, or a conversation like that might have made somebody so anxious, fuck it, I'm going to go get it. Go ahead. I ain't going to judge. That's beautiful. What you don't have the right to do is complain if anything happens to you, because there's always consequences, and you were warned of them. So you got it, no problem. I ain't going to love you or care about you any less. You wanted to be complacent? Fuck, man, I wanted to get into Penn State. I can't go to college because there's a mandatory vaccine. Fucking wait a little bit and don't get in this year. I know it sucks. I know it brings back but look at what's happened since people were getting the vaccine back in January to now. Nothing was forced. Nothing was mandated. You got to get it on a personal choice. So whether it was out of fear, whatever, now they want you to get it, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So all the people that got vaccinated back then are coming to me saying, oh, what the fuck? See, I didn't expect this to happen. If not, I would have waited. I said, oh, you know what I'm saying? And the agenda is to use the vaccine to kind of deter people from what's happening around the world. China right now is in Cuba turning their paramilitary. People don't know that. When the fuck would we have allowed China 90 miles off of our southern border, right? You got,
that's a scary thought.
Brother, you got the Taliban that just took over Afghanistan. And of course, people are going to blame it on Trump because he started the whole thing of, taking out our troops. But Biden is our current president, and he's the person that decides how we take out them troops. Okay? And it happens in phases, brother. And they destroy all the ammos and weapons in place. What did they left? They left them with, bro, I don't know how many millions of taxpayers' dollars. They're wearing the American uniform.
Us,
Macho, they're putting up that picture, that famous picture, the soldiers putting up the flag.
Yeah, they reenacted it with their flag.
I ain't gonna lie, dog, I started crying. When I saw that, tears just came to my eyes. Listen,
no one's ever shitting on us like that, bro. Never.
You look at people like Chris Kyle. You look at people like, Marcus Luttrell that has gone through what they've gone through, Operation Red Wings, you see it on American Sniper. These people done 3-4 tours, bro. They've lost legs. They've lost family members. They've lost brothers, sisters, everybody, man. They're coming over here, and in 20 years of fighting this battle, they just lost it overnight. And now they're all getting clowned on.
I got a super close friend, George, super close friend, Damien, my brother. He went to Iraq and he went to Afghan. He deployed twice, if not 3 times, and he lost several soldiers under his watchful eye. He was staff sergeant. And he's just barely finding peace. It took him, he's 48, I think. He's probably going to fucking send me a text when he sees this. No, bitch, I'm 47. Whatever. He's 40. Anyhow, love you, D. This had to reignite the whole PTSD. This had to do something to him because to lose people to do, taxpayers are mad. And that's from their money. That's from being a United States citizen. That's from being proud of your country. Imagine these guys.
Papa, think about this, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
You have open border with hundreds of thousands of people just walking in, no mask. They don't give a shit about COVID, and they're just infiltrating them in here. You have 8,000 Afghan refugees that were just brought over from what happened in Afghanistan, and they're giving them sanctuary here in the U.S. You think there's not Taliban infiltrated in that? Why do you think they're opening the borders and bringing these people in? So they can vote against our policy, so they can understand because of this guy I was able to sneak my ass in. You don't know who's coming in through our borders yet. Our military, our frontline workers, our business owners, our families are all being forced to get this jab. You understand? It's ridiculous. If people can't see this happening, then they're turning a blind eye, or they just don't want to see it, or don't want to admit it. So a lot of people don't like to be wrong. I went this way, and I'm going to stick to it no matter what. Instead of saying, yo, bro, you know what? Shit's fucked up, and I didn't expect this shit.
You're totally right about that. I'm so glad you said that because that's a fucked up part about these strongly opinionated people. You want to be opinionated and be strongly opinionated and whatever the fuck else, shame on you. You want to look down on me because I won't get the vax and I feel a certain way, and double shame on you. But goddamn, you're going to triple down, and when you see enough evidence of X, Y, and Z, you won't even apologize. You won't even admit that, you know what, I was wrong, or damn, I didn't see it going this far. Or you know what, I get why you're not doing it now, and I'm more respectful of it, from the, I don't want to beat a dead horse or go too crazy into it, but it's like we were talking about the Delta variant. How do you know about the Delta variant?
I'll give you a little one, man. I'll send people, listen, anybody that wants to follow me, they can follow me. I have loads of stuff that I can send them from very credible people. In my opinion, I don't want people to say, oh, this guy's not a doctor. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm not going to get caught up in that bullshit. I'm not a physician in no way, shape, or form, but I am very knowledgeable on certain topics because I'm constantly studying. In addition, whenever I go to make an educated, comment or whatever the case may be, it's because I already got it from a doctor or somebody that I work with, somebody that's credible. And there is no Delta variant. There is no Delta variant. Why is there no Delta variant, guys? Because they can't test for it. So I asked 3 of my nurses to go to their ER doctors and ask them, hey, look, let me look at one of the patient's charts. Where is it that you guys check for a Delta variant? No, we just check for COVID, SARS, whatever. So how do I know if I have the specific Delta variant? They don't even know how to answer, bro. So what happens is the vaccinated people, and please don't take this personal, guys. It is what it is. The vaccinated people that didn't know that they can continue spreading at the multitude that they can, Most people thought, well, I can't catch it. I'm safe. I'm vaccinated. You can catch it. You can spread it. You can still get hospitalized for it, and you can still die. So what's the point in taking something that you don't know that's still experimental? I personally, if all those 4 things can still happen, I'd rather bank on the 99% survival rate, my immune system, working out, that nobody talks about health. People are shitting on ivermectin and shitting on the vitamin C, ascorbate, and shitting on the zinc. And listen, bro, it works. It works because there's many, many doctors out there saying it personally. Why would you ignore these people? They took their boards just like you. They're just as credible as you.
And you also feel like you're a prime example of it because you take all those things. You haven't gotten your shot. You work around
everybody, Wes. I mean,
so many kids, fighters, gun people, you know, and nothing has hit you.
No. And if, you know, you remember you work with kids, bro. When I'm, work with kids, I used to feel sick all the time. You know, that's sick. When you catch a little cold.
Of course.
Fucking jits are always getting you sick, man. But when it comes to what I do, I like to, listen. And when I hear, listen, it's that famous saying, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
Or at least you have the right to assume it's a duck.
Exactly.
Until proven otherwise.
Exactly.
I'm going to assume it's a duck.
So what's happening with me is I'm seeing thousands of doctors that spoke about this anti-parasitic drug, ivermectin, which is very, very safe. It's only 2 milligram tabs, and they showed people how to use it as a prophylactic. If you add it with vitamin C, guys, it's got to be ascorbate. Try not to get the gummies and all that shit. Get the pure vitamin C. You can get it online. And the vitamin D3 has got to be 10,000 IUs, so you can keep your vitamin D levels at 50 if they did your blood work. Too much vitamin D can really fuck you up too, so you got to be careful. Okay, and zinc. And you do that as a routine daily, all right? And since ivermectin, as a highly parasitic, has a high antiviral success rate, there's been studies, man. 800 people, they did a study on 400 they gave ivermectin, 400 they didn't. 75% of the 400 that didn't got it, and all 400, 100% of the guys with ivermectin, none of them. So I get it at my local pharmacy. I take it as a prophylactic now because I don't understand why during the summer we're having, well, I do understand during the summer we're having this massive, spike when we have our highest vitamin D levels because of the vaccinated. They said it before that the vaccinated people would become super spreaders because they didn't understand, I can still spread this shit. Damn, I can still catch this shit. So what are you doing? You're listening to this prick Fauci, you know what I'm saying? He's coming out and saying, anybody that's got the vaccine, you can take off the masks. All right, so they took off the mask, went back to normal life like they're supposed to. Okay? And now what? Now you're having a crazy spike during the summer. The hospitalizations are back up. You're having a lot of people die. You're seeing it. And what happens to the people? They start taking a shit. They get scared. And they figure, you know what? Man, all these people that were talking about the vaccine and that if I take it, I probably won't die or go to the hospital, man. You know what? I'm going to go get it, man. I'm going to have to go get it. And on top of that, then I'm going to vaccinate my old lady, my grandma, the 2 kids. Bro, when you start vaccinating kids, that kills me. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because it has a high percentage of sterility.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a big gamble.
So that's a big thing for me, man. So, they go and they get the jab, and I fortunately have waited. And in waiting, now you're seeing the mandates. You're seeing their true agenda. You're seeing how bad it's getting, and they only have a specific amount of time because I don't think after 2024 this shit's going to continue. I think before that there'll be an impeachment. I believe that. You asked if there was going to be a civil war. There's a war right now because COVID is a biological attack on society. We all know that, okay? And people are at war outside of right now. You look at Massachusetts. I mean, not Massachusetts, Afghanistan and what do you call it? Right now, Australia.
Oh, bro. Big time. Isn't France?
France
got some major beef going on too, right?
I'm not sure if it was France or Italy. I think it's Italy where the cops were actually walking with the public. I'm not sure if it's happening in France.
Okay.
But, I think in Italy, man, at least the police officers there were united with the people and showing, listen, we're done. We're done with the mandates. And that's what they're trying to do here in Florida, like Ted Cruz, and you got DeSantis. So what happens? Look at social media. DeSantis should be president. DeSantis is the best. Thank God, best governor. Thank God we're in Florida. Yeah, look at all the shit you're seeing in Florida with the mandates. Where's that coming from if our governor has to be fighting the school board saying we're going to withhold your pay? Nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors, unfortunately, but everybody's living it. And you're only, people are only listening to what they're hearing in the mainstream media. Some other people have cut that to the side, and, they're paying attention to what I believe. This is my personal belief, which is the truth.
What's going on, you beautiful people? Just wanted to cut in real quick to give you guys a big shout out. And when I say you guys, I mean every one of y'all hearing my voice right now. I truly appreciate all the love and support that you guys have given me podcast, my teammates involved, and everybody else. Thank you so much. This is season 3, and I swear to God, this is just the beginning, man. We got so much more coming. So thank you once again, and let's get back to it.
So, man, listen, we don't want to dwell too much, on the negativity that's going on. We already know what's up, man. So, listen, I got something for everybody. Guys, do me a favor, or do yourselves a favor. Cut the news for a little bit. Cut the social media for a little bit. Love up your families. Love up your kids. Go out somewhere, breathe some open air. Forget the COVID, forget the vaccines, forget the testing, forget schools, forget mandates, forget all that shit. Because that's what we're being fed all day long. Because part of their agenda is mental exhaustion. And notice, everybody's mentally exhausted, brother. They're just had it. They don't even know to go left, to go right, to go up, to go down. And for people that don't have that strong character like we have, dude, it affects me the way it does. And I'm a pretty tough dude. Cookie, imagine people that don't have that fortitude inside. So, guys, just disconnect. And once you disconnect, stay informed. And unfortunately, I always tell people stay ready. And that's the reason, I told you, Wes, that I did the firearms company, because that's everybody's concern is stay ready.
Speaking of the firearms, I know that we're somewhat getting close to winding down. We're on that last leg of the podcast. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, you're working with a company, or you're individually private training through a company, or give us some information on that.
Yeah.
So for the training, how can somebody look you up? Where is it at? Where's the location? Give us a little bit of that.
Well, brother, like I told you, during the pandemic, when I was deemed non-essential, I was forced to shut down. And I said, I have law enforcement experience. I shoot, all my life I've been shooting. Let me catch up with the lingo of the new firearms that are out now, new models, so forth and so on. And, go back to something that I also love. That's another passion of mine. So I opened up a company, Isi Firearms, which is iron sharpens iron. One man sharpens another, And, started doing what we call CCW, classes for carry and conceal. So if anybody needs that, I do that for them to be able to carry and conceal. They can come to me. I go to their homes and do in-house CCW. And I also do training at the range. And what I try to tell people is, range training, when you go and you're training with a nice, no stress, no elevated heart rate. You grab your little target, you put it at whatever yards you want, you put your little earmuffs on, you aim and you shoot. It's never going to be like that, ever.
Never. Right.
So if you want to be ready, you need to train as such. So I said to myself, what do I need to do? So I became an RSO, range safety officer, and I'm able to go to the Homestead Training Center or other bays and rent it out. So when my students come with me, we're able to do what we call dynamic range training, or stress training under, when you're firing. A lot of people like to call it tactical. Tactical's a little bit more for military. So usually, I kid around with people and say, hey, coach, can you, teach me some tactical training? I'm like, what military branch you in? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's more casing houses and buildings and stuff like that, and scenarios, with safe house, which is fine. It's a lot of fun. I like more training that than teaching it. But
if you're somebody protecting yourself, you're not going to be running up in some house. You're not going to be chasing somebody down. You want to teach them, hey, under chaos, fearing for your life, that type of stuff.
Man, it's so funny because I tell my people, listen, bro, first time I see somebody jump out of the trunk of a car, do a forward roll with an AR in their hands, that's the shit you want to train and call one of these military guys. I don't do that, man. I don't do that. We do AR training, AR transition, a pistol, the basic gun handling, 4 universal rules, which is very important, man. I'll spit it out to these guys. Listen, for you guys that are handling firearms, especially when you're posting stuff online, you guys look like novices if you don't know your basics. And your basics are, treat every single handgun, every single one, as if it's loaded. I don't care if it's a plastic gun. Do not point your weapon at anything you're not willing to destroy. So don't fuck around with your friends pointing shit. Keep your booger hook, bro, that finger off the trigger at all times. Keep that shit. Bro, I see people, hey, bro, look at the gun I just bought. Nah, bro, keep that finger off the trigger at all times. And please be cautious of your target and beyond. That's number 4. You don't want to shoot, somebody that you're not supposed to. That's why if you ever have to use your firearm, you're supposed to give commands first and foremost. Get, safety the area. But, Wes, they can find me, I got 2 companies. So it's Zen's Anti-Bully, which is my youth development, and it's ISI Firearms. So I'm on Instagram at Zen's Anti-Bully. They can search me, or ISI Firearms. I'm also.
So Zen's Anti-Bully, ZENS, Anti, ANTI.
And Bully, BULLY. They can find me. ISI says ISI, the same, and Firearms.
And where's the anti-bully location at?
I'm close to Bird and 71st Avenue. I'm on 4659 Southwest 71st Avenue. I'm in the warehouses back there. The facility, I usually, have it during the day just reserved for personal training, private training, where I work with a lot of, families, moms, dads, and kids that are being homeschooled right now with all the BS that's going on. And then my actual group class is from 6 to 7. And we do everything MMA. We do striking, we do boxing, we do jiu-jitsu. I have a phenomenal jiu-jitsu instructor. So Marcelo, coach, love you, bro. I'm just giving you a nice little shout out.
Awesome.
I got the best, bro. The best of the best. This kid's been with me, for a while now, and he's been a godsend, to be honest with you, bro. And then with the ISI, it depends. It depends on people. I'm constantly promoting, and whoever needs my help, just, they reach out to me, and I do the best I can. Whether, I have my friend, another shout out, Peter Dominguez, love you, Pete. So that's my firearms dealer. So when I started this company, what I wanted to do was to make sure that I got a proper team. You know how it is, man. You need a team. Like, you're trying to look for editors.
Right.
Your team helps you, man. So I wanted to make sure that I found people that were loyal and were good. So I have one of my great friends, another shout out, Gus Matos, love you, bro. So anything that's tactics, flashlights, anything you want to add to your AR that's, a flashlight or eyes, ears, I get all that through my brother, Gus. Anything that's firearms related, ARs, shotguns, ammo, I get it through my boy Pete. And then anything that's firearms training, classes, CCW, me taking you to the range and working with you, it goes through me with ISI Firearms.
With these people, I guess a little salesmanship is coming out of me. Are these people getting some type of small discount if they go through you to buy these firearms?
100%.
Right, because of that. So you guys are all looking out for each other.
100%.
Like, hey, George, I'm ready to supply you with anything you need for not only you, but for any of your clients.
Right.
Try to send them my way to buy whatever it is they need, both your friends, and we'll obviously give them a great discount because of that.
Yeah, I mean, my
That's
firearms
awesome.
dealer, Macho, is, bro, I could throw a rock. You know what I mean? It's around the corner of my facility. So during my lunch breaks, little breaks, I haul ass over there and like, Pete, what do you need to promote? I got, a new AR, or I got, this Glock I want to show. So I'll go do a little thing for them and put it on my social media, and we start promoting it together. Same thing when I have a CCW class. That's how, how we do it. Whenever I have a big CCW class, at least 10 students or more, and I do it inside my facility, I'll actually have Pete come in. I set up a table, and I put firearms all over the table. So we have firearms on display. We have the class, and we do a little bit of safety and firearms, handling and stuff while we're there, which is really, really cool. When it's a smaller class, I just personally take them, my clients to him.
So you've given a lot of people great advice when it comes to, one, all this governmental bullshit, mentally be strong, have mental fortitude.
Absolutely. And guys,
you keep saying it's all a mental
I am
mindset.
no expert, bro, and it's just my humble opinion.
Right.
A lot of people...
It's a wise one, brother.
Will say, hey, man, I'm with him. And a lot of people say, fuck this guy. He doesn't know what he's saying. That's fine, man. I'm cool. I've taken criticism all my life. That doesn't bother me. It goes over my head. But yeah, the reason that I've gotten as far as I've gotten with the things that have happened and the things that are still happening is because of my mindset, dude. And I won't stop. Like, I encourage you, bro, take this podcast. Guys, this podcast is awesome. And I'm very, very, very happy to be, an invite here today. And, if I can leave you with any type of, message as a brother, bro, is don't quit, because you got a good thing going here, man.
Thank you, my brother.
You got certain things. Look, I look at a lot of other podcasts from people, and they just don't vibe, or it's just the same thing. It's very repetitive. And you got this thing, man, where you're able to go old school on me and, speak the lingo and the vibe, and then you're a great entrepreneur and you can just switch it on and off so it captivates the whole audience, anybody that's watching you, and that's important, bro.
Man, I really appreciate that. This thing came out of nowhere, the whole passion. As long as you know me, I've never mentioned a podcast or talking, but every time we get together, we got a great conversation going on. We're good talkers for whatever reason one might have. We're good talkers, and we're great listeners. And I think that is those are two big parts of the equation that ends up being a good person.
Amen.
And and for that we're good people.
Especially the good listener part, bro. I think people are missing.
It's so much better, bro. There's this line. I haven't said this enough on the podcast. There's this line that I read a long time ago. I think it was Robert Emerson. I think. Don't quote me on it. But if you guys want to look it up, and then leave a comment, please. Knowledge speaks, wisdom listens.
Amen.
Sounds cool. You like it. Everybody likes it. Thumbs up. I really try to apply. Wait a minute. Let me go deeper. What did it mean? I mean, I know what it means, but what does it mean? I take it as, unless you're spitting some real fire, some real information, some educative shit that you basically know or assume that your listener would want to hear or should want to hear. Unless you're doing that, and of course in a timely fashion, be wise and shut the fuck up and just listen.
Amen, bro.
Even if you got to listen to some horse shit in order to avoid this situation, not become, something negative, doesn't matter. Shut up and listen.
And that's humility, bro. For instance, I'm a firearms instructor. I don't claim to know it all. So I go to my boy Pete's place. I'll look and say, bro, hold on. Let me look at these SIGs. What are the different the models? I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly evolving. When I go to the range, if there's another firearms instructor there and he, did something that marveled me for whatever reason, dude, teach me that. How did you do that? There's people that won't do that.
Yeah.
There's people that, oh, man, this guy thinks he knows it all. And immediately the negativity starts. When your quest for knowledge never ends, your quest for peace never ends, and you're able to grab all this negativity around you and cast it to the side, you've already won. Because they can't penetrate you, bro. They're going to try because people are always going to talk.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a bunch of shit about me that's been out there, but that's all good. At the end of the day, they're not my... Listen, think about this. I got, 800 followers on social media. I used to have like 5,000. I cleaned the shit out of my page. Out of those 800 followers, doggy, I have 3 gato muerto, bro, that I deal with that really love me. Mm-hmm. You understand that tomorrow the shit would have hit the fan, they're there for me.
Right.
So I can give a flying fuck about the opinion of the other 800 plus people.
When you know your heart is in a really good divine place, you really give less fucks about what anybody thinks because you really know you're in a good place.
Brother, and the older you get, like we are, we're old dogs, the less fucks you're going to be able to give because we run out of fucks. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's it, bro. You just get to a point.
What's that meme that's been going around lately? I know you had to see it.
Yeah, I did, but I don't know how it goes. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one that says, the funny thing about getting older.
Yeah, you got less fucks, whatever. You have a certain amount of fucks.
No, that one's a different one. The funny thing about getting older, you start losing your vision, but you can really see through more people's shit.
But you can really see through the shit clear.
Yes, exactly. Something like that. So basically, my vision might be getting a little bit worse. But when it comes down to life and people and reading people and detecting people, bro, I can see through that bullshit from a mile away. And I think that's something that we both have accomplished, even though we have so much more to do, in our lives. One last thing, the bullying, the anti-bullying.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important part about what you're doing in life, without a doubt. I mean, I want you to put a firearm in everybody's hands and teach them how to use it so that, we can never be in a dire situation against the government.
And brother, not to interrupt you, I apologize, but not to get too much into the story, but knowing the struggle that I went through not to quit on my program, there's no quitting on it now, bro.
That's right.
I went through, bro. Some hell.
I wish... I don't know. I didn't want to turn it into a deep, sad whatever. But, man, when you were telling me all that shit off camera, I was like, God damn, George, I didn't know that and then what? That? Fuck, I mean, even...
Yeah, there's basics that I don't mind. Like, for instance, I'm getting back surgery done on the 1st because I've been with my back screwed up for almost 3 years. So finally, thank the blessed Lord, September 1st. So people pray for me. It should be fine. It's a, minimally invasive procedure. But I've been 3 years without being able to kick. I've been 3 years without being able to squat, lunge, and I'm a kicker, bro. You know me. I do the tornado, the Van Damme bullshit I did, and it sucks because I can't do anything. I can just go up there and box.
I remember when you tore your pec.
Yeah, still nasty and ugly, bro.
You I
just tatted it up, bro.
I remember that.
Yeah, man, it was tough. So, like I told you, I slept on the floor for a couple years of the gym. But the reason why I share that story or a little bit about it is because I believed in myself and in the process and in the kids more than in my inconvenience. So the inconvenience became secondary. And that inconvenience only determines how tough you are internally, not externally. Not how many people you can beat the fuck out of, how much you lift, how many MMA fights you got. Dude, can you sleep on the floor of your gym for 2 years and watch a little TV on the tube there to not lose what you're offering these kids? Because their issues are more important than your issues. And that's what I did. And I mean, I think it's been the 3rd month, 4th month that I was able to get out of there and get my place finally, and, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for the things that I've done, accomplished, even though, it's not anywhere near where I want it to be yet, in not quitting in it and in myself. It's what's helped me, you know what I'm saying, be where I am today. So I tell you the same thing, bro. I love what you're doing here. And there's got, something has to happen out of this because it's too dope and too professional for it not to. You need to get somebody, like a one of these mega superstars in here, brother, with that crazy following, man. You know what I'm saying? So they can have more views of you because it's badass, man.
We'll get some viral, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I almost suck at getting compliments. Like, I don't shy away from it, but then real quickly I'm like, all right, thanks, let's finish that. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing about me. Like, I don't care for the praise. I love a genuine, hey, man, I appreciate you. Hey, man, I see you doing that. Yo, this is dope. And then let's just keep going. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't want to glow. I don't want to. There's so much more to do, just like you feel. There's so much more to do. And you've been through so much. I've been through so much. And it's like, thank you, but this ain't shit. There's a lot more to take over and accomplish and things of that nature. So, again, I appreciate it. Give people some parting words on the bully tip, brother. What would you tell some families, some parents, some bullies, or some who've been bullied? You never know who's listening. You never know who can pass on the message. Being that you've worked with so many kids about bullying, even those who are mentally handicapped, physically handicapped, or just as average and normal as anybody else, what would you try to tell anybody listening? Hey, try this in order to help this fucked up situation of bullying.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that I'd say is please communicate with your kids a little bit more. Find out what's going on in school. Just stay on top of your kids. A little bit of stats, man. Unfortunately, bullying comes physical, but it also comes cyber, and it comes verbal. And sometimes, words, to kids especially, that can really be devastating, especially, if they have an issue or something like that, and you're picking on that issue, it just makes them feel inferior. And then you do have the bullying of the guys that want to beat the shit out of someone because basically they're just a big bully. What I would say is, a little bit of stats, guys. There's 170,000 students are absent daily in the United States due to bullying. They're just afraid what's going to happen in the bathroom, what's going to happen in the locker room, what's going to happen on the way to the bus, so forth and so on. And speak to your kids to make sure that their mindset is right, because as you can tell, you can train all you want, you can do all you want, you can be this jock, and then just all of a sudden your mind is weak. You know what I'm saying? And it's your mind that takes over you, and that's with everything in life. So would you possibly, my apologies, would you possibly intensify that a little bit and tell parents, okay, yeah, I'm saying speak to them, but really I want you to dig deeper, because kids have the ability to hold back and not admit that they're afraid of a bully. Might be a wannabe tough boy, might be a young boy who has a tough-ass dad, and the last thing he wants to do is tell his tough-ass dad, yo, I'm really worried about this fucking bully. So they won't know everything's good, Dad. No, 100%.
Everything's good. So dig, maybe, parents, without being invasive, dig a little bit.
Well, I'll give you, like Wes said, in 2015, we had a girl that committed suicide. Like I said, it changed my entire career. Her family never even knew she was being bullied that bad. And in other 75, 80% of cases, the parents say the same thing. I never knew. Oh, my God, if I would have known. Well, if you would have known, kind of shows me that maybe you're not having, I'm not saying communication with your child, but maybe the proper communication. You're not digging or prying enough.
Right.
And you need to.
Right.
You need to see the things they draw. You need to see the things they write. You need to see
what
check their phones, what music
they
listen to. What are their search engines?
I think that parents feel, and that's one of the problems that we got going on with the, whatever you want to call it, pussification of kids or just life. Parents feel like, no, that's too invasive. I shouldn't do that. I need to give my kid the free. No, the fuck you shouldn't.
Absolutely not. And for parents that claim I'm my kid's friend, listen, you're your kid's parent.
Yes.
You can be your kid's friend to the point where they can speak to you about their personal shit, but you're still the kid's parent. It is not anybody else's job, not the schools, not their peers, not their coaches. They can influence. They can help. But it's your job to raise your kids with the ideologies that are the correct in this day and age to raise ladies and gentlemen. And they're not doing it. You sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours, you come home, you have dinner, then you have time with your husband, whatever you're doing, you're watching a movie. So how much time do you really spend with your kids?
Exactly.
You understand? They're locked up in the room, on a computer, doing whatever, and if you're not inspecting what we expect, they're going to be doing whatever the fuck they want, bro. You know what I mean? And the parents are working with me, like sometimes they'll get to class and be like, man, he didn't want to come today. So why? Because he was on his Fortnite bullshit. I said, oh, you get him off that shit and you make him come with me, come train. They finish training, they do awesome, they feel great. They come back home, pick whatever you were doing back up. But you need to disconnect. You need to enjoy life. You need to do other things. You need to ride a bike. When we were kids, come on. We get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, get on our little fucking MCS Magnum, and we were out to score on our mongooses and shit, and we didn't come back till nighttime.
I had a BMX, bro. Mongoose was expensive.
Yeah, bro, it was.
I had the BMX, homie. I had the cheap BMX version. No shame, bro.
I negative, bro. What can I tell you, man? It was the days, bro. It was the times where, you get back and, mom make you fucking Kool-Aid and shit. Your friends would drink. You'd hang out. Everything was just great.
Yeah, man.
And we said, progreso viene regreso, unfortunately, and that's what's been happening. A lot of, kids that are just glued to that. And the fucked up thing, and they're playing video games, right? And their homie's sitting right next to them playing the same video game. Instead of communicating with each other, both on a screen.
Insane, bro.
Next to each other. Or, you walk into a child's room, say, what are you doing? I'm playing with Billy. Motherfucker lives next door.
Right.
Have Billy come over. You go outside, kick a fucking football. Go get on a skateboard, scratch up your knees, be a boy. Get the fuck off the screen.
My bro, I see people on dates. I go out to dinner by myself all the time. If you go to Duffy's, they'll be like, "What? That man's here by himself all the time." I love it. I just zone out. I do my thing, whatever. But I'm also, observing, people watching. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Having dinner, barely saying a word to each other, all up on their phones. Ludicrous, dog.
Well, one of the things, I have a little rule, and, if I go out with somebody, I ask, listen, you have children, I understand that, so you have to have your phone on, but I turn my phone off and put it away, because unless we're sharing something together, where we're both looking at something and sharing, you doing your own thing and checking your phone constantly because somebody sent you, a like or a message on what the bullshit that's going on now. Is that more important than the date that you're on?
Right.
For that, just stay home and don't take somebody out. Don't even spend the money or waste your time. Shit, I ain't dated in a minute, bro. And, I've been single for 2.5 years, and, I needed it. I needed my time. I needed my space to recover, not only mentally or emotionally, but, business-wise, financially, and as a person grow. And, man, I never, ever bitch or complain about anything that's happened to me, because the things that have happened to me are for a reason. They've taken me to where I am now, and possibly those mishaps that may happen to me, whether it's a breakup, whether it's a loss of a business, it might have been better for the other person as well, And for me, my job is for me to be happy, anybody around to be happy. I have, no ill will towards anybody, either in my past or stuff like that. I mean, I'm pretty good at letting shit go, because I don't have time, man, for the bullshit.
Right.
The only thing I have time now is for positivity for myself, and whatever happens going forward,
Well, on that note, man, guys, make sure that if you want to follow a great guy for all the right reasons,
thank you, brother.
Follow George. He's on George. Well, the actual.
Well,
because your actual Instagram is George.
Yeah, well, my regular Instagram, my private page, the Zen Master, I really don't care about that one because it's not my business. They could follow me. I don't care. But all I'm doing is beating the shit out of liberals and Dems on that. Yeah, but don't get offended.
No, but that's a good one. That's why, because that's the one that I'm fucking seeing all the time, and you're spitting some fire on there. But that one is what? Zen Master?
The Zen Master.
The Zen Master.
That's a private one. Just request me. It's fine. I'll accept everybody, man.
And then you have the
ISI Firearms and Home Defense. It'll be under ISI Firearms Training, I believe. Once you put ISI Firearms, I pop up. You see me with my AR, bro.
Okay, perfect. And then you have the actual Zen Kids.
Anti-bullying.
Anti-bullying. Mm-hmm. So give that guy a follow, man. Show some support. Also, folks, I'm a coach as well, and I work with kids as well. You got 2 highly recommended great coaches who work with kids, work with self-defense, work with mixed martial arts. I can't stop talking enough about how remedial, how medicinal mixed martial arts is, how just it's so good for you and release the stress. Get that cardio going instead of beating your knees up and your feet up from running on some pavement or walking on some pavement. Learning how to defend yourself, build your confidence, build your kids' confidence, build your self-esteem. Meet great new people. Network with people who have the same humble, intentions that you do, because they're in that same class with you. They're trying to accomplish the same thing. You'll never go wrong with mixed martial arts or fitness, especially with all this scandemic bullshit going on. But remember, keep in mind, George, my boy, Zen Rodriguez, also for the firearms. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should be strapped. I think everybody should get some training. If you know somebody who needs the help, recommend them to George. Give him a try. Check him out. And
special needs as well.
And George, honestly, from a personal level, bro, this is without a doubt one of my favorite podcasts. You're an amazing dude. We've always have had the most awesomest vibe without ever. We go out for drinks and we party. We haven't done all that. We've had nothing but great conversations since day one, all up in the gym at LA Fitness. And then when we were over there with Wonky and George and all these people at South Miami Sports Performance. And we've been going hard since. And every time I saw you at fights commentating, you'll take a break in between commentating, we'll talk. And we were talking about the last time that we saw each other, that even Yuli was there. You've always been a stand-up guy to me. Now that I even know your story so much more, it just makes you even more credible, brother. And I really appreciate you for blessing the podcast. Thank you for coming. Nothing but love, man. And guys, take all this with a grain of salt. Go optimistically, moving forward. Make sure you keep those kids in mind. They are the future. There was an amazing song back in the days.
And really quick, Wes.
Yes,
I'm
please.
So sorry, but man, this is so pivotal. If you, me, and adults get so affected by what's happening, imagine kids.
Exactly.
You think they don't listen?
Right.
You think they don't see? You think they don't know what's going on? Why the fuck am I being muzzled? Why are these people not wearing it? Why are these people wearing it? They listen, and it's affecting them, man. So, guys, please, do me a favor and keep the adult topics and the adult shit away from kids. Let them keep that innocence as long as possible.
That makes so much sense, man. The kids are the future, guys. We'll leave it on that note. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Stay tuned. I'm back in action. We won't be missing anymore, even if I got to do all the editing myself. Love you guys. Peace.